Today, we're visiting Boston. Before we see the historic areas, we first stop by Boston Commons. The setting for one of our favorite books, Make Way for Ducklings. In this book, Mother Duck is about to lay her eggs, and Father Duck looks for a good home. They try living along the Charles River. But once the ducklings hatch, Father Duck wants to find a better home. He flies off and leaves Mother to teach her 8 ducklings how to swim, dive, and walk in a straight line. When they were ready, she led them through the streets of Boston. Finally, they arrive in the public garden, now known as Boston Commons.
Whoever can spot the nest first on the island. See any baby ducklings, let me know.
With swan boats slowly passing by, she and Father make the island their new home. Now it's time to follow the Freedom Trail. This 2.5-mile walk featured 16 historic sites related to the American Revolution, including some very famous grave sites, like Samuel Adams, Crispus Attucks, who was killed in the Boston Massacre, and even the gravesite of Paul Revere. We saw the location where Crispus Attucks was killed, in the Old South Meeting House. We also visited the Old North Church, where Robert Newman and John Pulling Jr. lit the lanterns to alert Paul Revere. 1 is by land, 2 is by sea. We were not allowed to take any videos, but we did go on a scavenger hunt with Pete the Cat. We discovered where different patriots sat during church, and where the enemy sat too. It was pretty fascinating. Did you know that this church hosted the first Sunday school in the region? And for 200 children? That's a lot of kids. And behind us is the window, as legend has it, that Robert Newman jumped out of to escape the British after he lit the lanterns. What brave men they all were. Us too, right?
So, who owned a bookstore in Boston that supplied the British officers with their books from England?
Henry Knox. He secretly read them. He knew the British's plans.
So Henry Knox worked with the Continental Army at George Washington, devising a plan to go pick up a whole bunch of ammunition, artillery, cannons, and bring them back during the thick of winter in order to help rescue Boston. So it's pretty cool seeing an area that maybe possibly could have been where he had his store. Shane, did that strategy work?
Yeah.
And did he even have to shoot a bullet or a cannonball?
No.
Pretty great victory. Uh-oh. Is it a national treasure clue? Yeah, what do you think's buried under there? A key to what?
The treasure.
Under the grate.
Under the grates. Right here. Ooh, maybe.
While we didn't find any key, we still did find a historic treasure. This is the world's oldest commissioned naval ship that's still afloat. As a patriotic symbol, it declared our naval strength as a young nation and protected our rights to trade across the oceans. It was nicknamed Old Ironsides because the enemy was unable to penetrate her sides with cannonballs.
Marker 63, 64, 65.
65 feet of a beam.
Her greatest victory was during the War of 1812 when she defeated 4 British frigates, sending a clear message that the USA is strong. From here, you can also see where Paul Revere landed across the Charles River. It took him about 1 hour to cross the river by boat before he could continue his midnight ride on horseback. Then he set out for Lexington and Concord to warn them that the British were coming. Before we leave Boston, we need to stop for tea. But this ain't no dainty tea party.
I need you all to settle down, as I can barely hear myself over the roar of this loud, angry mob!
Three ships, the Eleanor, the Dartmouth, and the Great Beaver, and their holds all bursting with 340 crates of East India Company tea. Documents under the Stamp Act. We wait his return and cling to the hope that the governor will listen to reason, but nothing short of a total evacuation of the town by all of these bloody back troops. That will be enough to satisfy the public mind and preserve the peace, promising that no English goods would enter their homes. By your united efforts, by your united resolve, we force many of these towns and duties to be repealed. But there appears to be an ever-growing hole in the purse of the English treasury, and now those greedy eyes return to our tea. If Lord North wishes to enforce a 3 penny per pound tax to signify the supremacy of Parliament, and its supposed right to tax the colonies, well, then we have the right to demand representation there. Well, it appears that the governor is willing to grant anything consistent with the laws and his duty to the king.
Wait, really?
But orders that the vessels cannot leave unless the cargo is unloaded as the law demands. What say you to this, Boston?
What's outrageous?
Dare I say now he has forced our hand. We, the good people of Boston, must now decide what to do.
Here, here! The Patriots might be headed my way. I do rather think that salt water and tea should mix this night. But what say all of you? If you agree with construction of the tea, please say aye!
Are you an angry mob? Show me your angry mob face.
It's time to make a statement and let England know we refuse to accept their terms. We protest! But we won't protest trying the teas that were aboard the 3 East India Company ships. The Dartmouth, the Beaver, and the Eleanor.
Is it good? Thumbs up. Wonderful.
Tastes like sweet tea. It's good.
Tea with a view of the Boston Harbor.
All right, Levi, so did you enjoy that?
Yes.
What were your favorite parts?
1, all of it. 2, all of it. 3, all of it. Thank you very much.
Excited to go to Lexington and Concord next?
What are we supposed to be doing now?
That would be today.
What are we doing now?
Well, we're going to go see the sights and learn more about Lexington and Concord.
Sure.
Sweet.
As we head to Lexington and Concord, We crossed the route Paul Revere would have taken to warn them. But there was another rider that night named William Dawes who took a south route.
Do you know what you're standing on, Shane? At this point on the old Concord Road, as it then was, ended the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
Do you know Paul Revere was captured here? But before that, he had successfully made it to Lexington to run Samuel Adams and John Hancock.
Dismount, Paul Revere!
The British wanted to seize weapons from the colonists. But rather than surrender, the colonists chose to successfully resist, which began the Revolutionary War.
So back here, there's a statue of a farmer with a rifle and his plow. And this is the bridge, the Old North Bridge, where in Concord, Massachusetts. And this is where these British redcoats came. They were heading this way to try to seize ammunition a mile and a half beyond here. And they were stopped right here. Americans had had enough of the British invasion, and they had come too far. They were putting all these taxes on America. The Boston Tea Party happened, the Stamp Act, all these things. And the Americans had finally had enough. They were coming here, being oppressive. And this is where a farmer, like the statue up there with the man with a rifle and his plow, the farmers stood their ground right here. And they stood up for American freedom, for independence. And so eventually what was known as the American Revolutionary War, basically this was the first shot fired by the British towards the American colonists, was here on this side of the bridge, we believe, and somewhere in this area. And it was known as a shot heard round the world. And that was the beginning of the Revolutionary War, which eventually landed America as an independent nation, independent of Britain's rule and control, free to rule on their own, free to establish their own government and rule themselves. So it's pretty significant that where we're standing right here is the place where that happened.
Guess what we found? This is called a water moccasin. A venomous viper. His bite is extremely venomous to humans. I guess that goes to show that cannons and muskets weren't the only threats to soldiers in the Revolutionary War.
The woods by Lexington and Concord are actually really beautiful. And we love them so much we decided to camp here for the night.
All right, so we made it to campground tonight. We're actually at a campground after about, I don't know, like 9 nights boondocking it. So we all got showers. We are doing laundry, and we have enough time to have a little bonfire for dinner. So I made some quick tacos with peppers and onions, and we're gonna enjoy a delicious meal outside at the picnic table tonight. It's a little bit drizzly, but it's kind of nice and cool too. So hopefully the rain will hold off and we can enjoy a little snuggy campfire before bed.
Time to light the kindling and feed the fire. Now that's cozy.